Hey guys, and welcome back to a new video. This is going to be my video on the beginner's guide to applying nail forms. So please don't mind, I just wanted to share with you my little damaged nail at the minute. If you've watched my acrylic removal video, you will know the whole thing about this little nail here. Please excuse her, she is a little bit sad and miserable. Anyway, moving on, I'm going to go through how I like to apply my nail forms and just talk you through different ways of applying and how to secure them correctly so that you can ensure you've got the right platform and base to begin sculpting your nails. So if you're interested in learning how I do that, then keep on watching this video and I will be sure to share my tips, tricks and everything on that. So yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, so first off I want to let you know that all forms are not created equally. By far, like, honestly, if you have these forms that are from eBay that everybody always starts out with, I'll try and pop them on screen so you can see what I'm talking about, then whiz them out and get some better forms. I started out with those and I thought, I cannot do this. This is impossible. Sculpting with these is beyond my skill level, because I was just like, this is not happening. And what you find is you get the form on and it's just kind of coming down here, it's not fitting, it's very difficult. So definitely choose the correct nail form for you. At Glitter Planet we do offer sample packs, so you'll just receive 10 single forms, or I think it's 12 actually, per whatever form you decide to choose. You'll choose 12 rather than getting a full roll or a full box. So definitely check out like a variety of nail forms before you decide to choose. It's always good to stock a few different ones because there are different types for different nails. Some people have extended hypernicums and other different kind of free edges. Like, everybody's nails and fingers aren't the same, so it's good to stock a few different kinds and then you can kind of figure out how you're going to work with that. So I'm going to start off by sharing with you my ultimate favourite. Of course, I've created all of these nail forms, and for me, I was struggling to find a nail form personally that really catered to an extended hypernicum, which is the extended skin under here, where I just felt that every single form that I tried was uncomfortable, or I had to tailor it or alter it in some kind of way. So I decided to create the Infinity form. Now I created the Infinity and the Galactic Pro at the same time. We have the foil forms and I also have the Revolution forms. However, I don't think I have any at the minute. I will see if I can get some to share them with you. If not, I'll pop them on screen, but they are the similar shape. They're just clear and slightly different around this area. So let's go ahead and talk about my favourites. My favourites are these because personally for me, I always have this extra skin under here, which is the hypernicum, and it's overgrown and extended. So I'm just going to remove the centre point. So I designed this form to already have that really deep C at the where it will meet the free edge and sit under the nail. So let's see the difference here. So say if we were going to be applying this to your nail, you'd have to tailor this form and trim it all the way down, whereas on this one I've already done that for you guys. It's already in there, and if you wanted to go ahead and you had a nail that didn't need that, you can come in with the center point and just stick that, you do it underneath the form and you just straighten it off, and that way it can fit nicely. So I'm gonna start by rolling this form between my fingers, and we do this so that we can get a nice C curve in the form, because if you just went in straight away and pinched it, sometimes it's either wonky or it just doesn't sit straight. So you definitely want to come in and create that nice C curve, and you're just pinching it between your fingers and gently rolling. So with these forms as well, I always like to, let's remove it from the backing. I come in, you'll see a little perforated section here, and you just want to squash that together and then gently tear that apart. So I'm going to come in and again still rolling that form in my fingers. I'm just going to slightly pinch, but not too much. You don't want to close it completely because you may well have to kind of, you know, undo that. I'm just going to move my light over a little. So I like to push these wings out so they're not in the way. And then we're going to go ahead and apply this to our finger. So when you're applying these forms, obviously I'm using one hand, so a little bit different than when you're applying on a client. You're going to come in and open your form up, slip it under the free edge and tilt back. And that's going to sit nice and flush under the nail. But I'm just doing it on myself, so I'm going to do it with one hand. Obviously that's a slight different application process, but you will still be able to see how well this form fits nice and flush under the nail. So you can already see there that it's going to be tucked right under the free edge of this nail because of how it sits. Can you see how far up that goes? Whereas if we were going to come in with the Galactic Pro for my nail shape and the free edge with my extended hypernicum under there, you're going to have, let's just roll that, you're going to have like an area that's missing, that's not got the form sat under it, which is going to cause an issue when you come to apply your product, because you're going to have a lot of product seeping under the nail, and that's where you get that horrible kind of lip and bulkiness underneath that nail, which can cause an imbalance in the enhancement and eventually breakage will happen. So can you see I've got that up to the free edge, but we're missing all of this area. Like there's no way that I can push that any further without trimming that form. Absolutely no way whatsoever. So that's the Galactic Pro, and I'm not saying that that's a bad form, it's just not correct for my nail shape with my extended hypernicum. So I'm going to come in with the Infinity, and on the same nail, just making sure that I'm on the same nail, I'm going to, can you see how it can fit under the side there? Right under the side there. So we're going to make sure that we're right under those side walls on this angle, but then we're going to come in and tilt back. And can you see how that is going from side to side? We have absolutely no gap. You can see a slight bit here, but this is just my hypernicum under the nail that has overgrown, because I wear my nails long. It's constantly like that, so it's not an issue. It's just that you've got to cater correctly to the nail shape that you are working with. So it's, like I say, it's definitely worth having different styles of forms so that you can easily do that. So as you can see, it is fit really nice all the way around. Let me zoom right in so you guys can see from this angle. Can you see that? Super nice, super snug fit, absolutely no gaps whatsoever. So then we're going to go ahead and close the form. Before closing the form, I do like to go ahead and just check down that we have everything in line, that everything is fitting correctly and is straight. Now I do it this way for my nails just because that's how I've found it easiest, and then I'll check it and double check it as well before applying my product. So I'm just going to come in, and you want to match up, and then can you see how, let me try and get something. So the side wall is coming out here, and you can see this line here, you want it to be level, which is absolutely fabulous. There, you can see that line there. So what I'm going to do, as I close this back tab, it's going to push the form up slightly, which is going to give my nail a great structure. So when I come to build my apex, we don't want a super thick nail at the end, so by tilting the form up slightly, you're going to get the correct thickness around the stress area, but a nice thin free edge. So I'm just going to open that tab up a little bit, pop it back together. Right, okay, so I'm going to close the middle form and then the back, and can you see? Now, if you're finding that it's not tucked right up, I always like to come in and kind of squash and rock. That's how I say it. So you squash and rock and wiggle and just make sure that it's tucked right up underneath. And that is, oops, I've just knocked it. And that is fabulous. And that is how I like to fit my nail forms. The Infinity forms are my ultimate faves. I have to do a very minimal work with tailoring and fitting them. So let me go and show you how, now that I've got that one done, how we would fit the Galactic Pro. I just want to let you know as well, depending on how thin and slender you want your C-curve, depends on where you would pinch. So you could pinch super tight and you would get a really narrow C-curve. So if I pinched in further and further, you can do that. You can also leave these tabs at the end open and it would create more of a straight nail if you were doing a coffin or a square or a tapered square. So yeah, I love the Infinity forms. Also, I want to show you as well the box that they come in. And the Galactic Pro both come in this style of box, and you just punch out the hole, the perforated lines are already there, and your forms sit back in, and then you can just reel them out. So I think it's fabulous to have on your desk. It keeps everything super tidy, and there's the Galactic Pro as well. So yeah, I love the fact that we have those, and I'm just in love with them. That is all. On to the Galactic Pro. So this is the Infinity form, super long, super snug. So the Galactic Pro fits better for me on my thumbs. However, at the minute I've just done a soak off, so, but normally I have some length here, so it kind of does fit nice there. But as you can see, it's still not reaching up here. So there we would have product seeping straight underneath that form and causing us issues with our structure. So it's just not going to work. So of course we have to do some tailoring. So we're going to open the form up and we're going to come in with our scissors. Just a heads up, these are not available on the website. These are a black pair of the Gothic scissors. We have them in rainbow and purple, but they are not in stock just at the minute. If you want to sign up for stock alerts, then I'll leave the links down below and you can definitely check them out. So on forms, you have these guidelines. So not only these are for creating the length and the shape of the nail, you can also use these for trimming and tailoring the form. So for me, I'm going to follow this first guideline because it's going to give me the shape that I need for the end of my nail where I want to apply the form. So not only am I going to do that, I'm going to then just check that that fits. So we can see here it's just slightly needs a tiny bit more taken out. And then where the lines are, just on those, I'm just going to snip there, and that's just going to allow me a little bit more freedom when we apply the form. I'm just going to slightly pinch that together just because it allows me to have more control over the form, and I then squash down like this to open it more. That has just gone together way too much. Let's try and undo that a little bit. Okay, trying to show you guys this is a little bit difficult. Okay, I'm going to undo that completely. Right, okay, so I'm going to get that under my free edge. As we can see, it's fitting nice and snug. And then I'm going to bring it down. Right, okay, so we can see it's fitting nice and snug from side to side. We've just got a slight gap here. So as I close and pinch this form together, we'll see that gap close. I'm going to try and do it so that you guys can see. Okay, so can you see how that just pushed up and closed that gap? So we're going to pinch that form together. And notice where I've trimmed and cut that slit. That just allows the form the width so that it can fit comfortably, but it keeps this section under the free edge so it's not pulling or misshapen the structure of the form, and it allows us to be able to place that product correctly on the nail. So yeah, I do love the Galactic Pro as well. These forms are super sturdy and just honestly, absolutely fabulous. So definitely check them out. As always, I always do, I will link the products that I'm showing you in the description down below, so if you want to check them out, then definitely do. Okay, so this is the foil nail form, and it works in the same way as the Galactic Pro for me, because my nails are like I said, they usually need tailoring, and you can see, let me remove the center. You can see that that is just a low, I can't even think of the word. It's just a low curve on that area there. Also on the foil forms, you have the option to remove the bottom section depending on the length that you are creating. So you can come in, and I'm just going to make it difficult for myself, obviously, because I should really remove that one. Anyway, I'm not going to remove it because I'm going to be a bit of a weirdo. Yeah, so you can just go ahead and pull off the end depending on the length that you want. If you want the extreme length or the longer form, you can keep that on. But if you're just doing a nice short salon set, you don't need all that length in the way, so you can come and remove that easily. As I just showed you, I did it with nail forms on. It wasn't difficult at all. Okay, so I'm going to remove this and probably struggle like hell. So these ones aren't as thick. They are designed a little bit thinner. I wanted them to be super flexible and pliable. Of course, my other forms are as well, but these are just a different style altogether. Slightly at the free edge, just to make sure that I can control it, since I'm just using one hand. And we are going to go ahead and just apply this to my ring finger. And can you see that the C curve on that is more fitting, even though I have that extended hypernicum, and it fits more securely. On this one we have more guidelines for tailoring and trimming, so I probably would only have to trim to the dotted line in order for this to fit snug and securely on my nail. I'm not going to do that because you've just seen me do that on the previous form. It's just the same method but with a different form. Of course, we already have these areas trimmed out so that it allows for that form to fit super snug and tight. I do love these foil forms. These were one of the first forms that we brought out and I love them. So that is how you would apply that. Of course, for my nail, I would have trimmed that, but I just wanted to give you a little rundown and a view of 3 different types of forms. Okay guys, so that is it. That is my little beginner's guide on how to apply nail forms. I hope that this has helped some of you and enlightened some of you, and I don't know, give you some confidence in applying forms. If you do have any questions, then feel free to DM me on Instagram or pop me an email or leave a comment down below, and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up, and always remember that you are bomb.com, lit as fuck, and don't ever let anybody tell you any different, because you've got this and I love you. Mwah. Bye. Also, follow your dreams, do you, and be consistent, keep practicing. You've got this. You really, really do. Just believe in yourself.